You have had your run-ins with feminism. I mean, you haven't always been the best friend feminism has. Isn't that fair to say?
Well, I went to an all-women's college, so I had the run-in with all the feminists, different sides, intersectionalists, the people who are just second wavers, who's probably just me, and then certainly some people who wanted to push that into other people, people who just hated men. So I've run into it all. I had it on my very first day in college. I went to our orientation, which is where they indoctrinate you first in college, and they put a girl on stage, and she had her hair in a ponytail, and they cut off her ponytail in front of everyone. And people were applauding and shouting and screaming down at the patriarchy. It was very disturbing. I was like, where am I going to college? What am I getting myself into?
Why? What did patriarchy have to do with her ponytail?
Well, we actually have this thing called the moho chop. So I went to Mount Holyoke, so moho is short for that, and they call it the moho chop, which is when you cut off all your hair and look like a boy. I kept my long hair. I think I might have the longest hair in that college, or I did. But yeah, it's kind of like a rite of passage to cut your hair off at that school.
Wow. Okay, so now explain to me the difference between first, second. How many waves of feminism are there now?
I think we might be going into our fourth wave.
Okay.
But I'm going to say there's 3 for simplicity, but I think there's a 4th one developing.
Okay, so explain the differences to me.
Sure. So first wave is right to vote. Second wave is to go into the workforce, and as your video says, to not stay at home with your children necessarily.
Okay.
And then third wave is kind of the intersectionality and also the hatred of men. So there's 2 different aspects to it, which is fourth wave is kind of more intersectionality, but I'm going to lump fourth and third together because they're very similar and they kind of are overlapping still. So.
Okay. Now, I'll get back to my video in a minute. But as you go to an all-women's college, you see this happening. What effect does it have on the actual women who are doing this?
Well, they're very unhappy. They don't really know what they're doing there. So at Mount Holyoke, we have a lot of women who actually go there and then explore their sexuality and meet other women, and then leave and then marry men. So it's kind of like they're having fun in college and doing this rebellious nature. For instance, one of my guy friends went to one of the parties, and it was all women. He was one of the only guys, and he took a video right after the election where he just screamed, "I hate men," and followed after this video, everyone starts cheering. It's kind of freaking me out when you see these things because they honestly do hate men. It's really scary.